Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Barandica and I will be talking a little bit about taking risks in life through my presentation titled Life Choices, the Effects of Taking Risks. Life is like a boat without a paddle. You have the option to swim, not knowing if you'll survive or you'll make it to shore. But it's better than sitting in a floating boat to nowhere. Jennifer Amarelli. I will concentrate my presentation on Chapter 8 of the book Job 1 2.0, titled Risky Business, Securing and Surviving Job 1. We will briefly discuss the story of Kim Rutledge, a young professional from Cincinnati who faced many uncertainties in life following graduation, all hopes of pursuing a fulfilling career like many of us have in the past. Kim asked herself the same question mentioned previously about taking risks and reaching goals. What she did in this story truly changed her life. Kim's story proves how important risk-taking can be in life, and especially in the student affairs field. I will break Kim's story into 4 parts, focusing primarily on the following. Number 1, Kim's reevaluation of her career choices. Number 2, her search for her first job. Number 3, how she dealt with her new decisions. And number 4, the long-term effects of her choices. Kim graduated college with a degree in retail merchandising, but soon realized, like many of us have in the past, that this was not the field she wanted to pursue. Kim believed that she would find more joy working in higher education, specifically in student affairs within the area of academic advising and career counseling, all of this because of her passion to help students. She took her first major risk by quitting her job and began looking for ways to expand her education in the new field. She was rewarded and accepted to a graduate program in higher education and was also given the opportunity to work as a graduate assistant in the Learning Center, primarily supervising tutors and working one-on-one with students. Kim learned that this was definitely the field she always wanted to pursue. By taking the risk of quitting her job and seeking more education in a new field, Kim started her path to a more satisfying career. This in itself is not an easy thing to do. Many individuals in her situation would have stayed in their lane and regretted their decisions later. Kim's ability to take this risk puts her in a great position for a more prosperous future. Kim began to look for a job after completing her master's, but her search seemed to be slowed down by her limiting career field. Kim interviewed for her first position and later on found out the position was given to someone else. It was tough for her at first, but she learned a lot from the experience and was given many tips on how to be better in the future. She was given advice by many to widen her search field for work, but Kim decided not to do that because she would not be comfortable in any other positions. Kim was set in what she wanted to do. Kim was given a second opportunity when she interviewed for a 10-month position at the University of San Francisco. She liked the opportunity to add more diverse experiences to her resume, the opportunity to work in her selected field, and the ability to have an actual job because positions were really hard to come by. Fortunately, taking this position also meant having to look for work again 10 months later, looking for a new home, developing a social network, and separating from family and friends. Although Kim was very scared, she took a second major risk and accepted the position. Kim was able to look past her fear of starting a new life, finding new friends, and moving to an unfamiliar city. The reason for this was because the fears did not outweigh the benefits of taking risk. This risk would give her the opportunity to enhance her experiences and make her a more well-rounded individual for the future. Taking a risk and accepting her temporary position in an unfamiliar city was very stressful. On top of that, Kim now had to set up living arrangements and a personal life without the support of her family and friends. Kim dealt with things like jumping from one place to another and debating whether or not to live with someone else. Despite the fear of living with someone else, Kim took the risk and ended up living with someone who was almost 20 years older than her. The transition was hard, but it was either that or being homeless in an unfamiliar city. Finally settled in, Kim now faced one of her biggest fears, which was developing a social network. She was not worried about making friends. Instead, the idea of opening herself up to ridicule and rejection haunted her. She took a huge risk and did what she had to do by signing up to online social media websites, attending socials, and outdoor events, amongst other things. She moved slowly and faced many moments of anxiety, but in the end, met some new people and tried new things that she had never done before. Living with someone is not easy, especially someone much older than you. Kim made the best of her situation and took the risk in order to not be homeless. She kept a positive attitude, and that was her first step towards trying to meet new people in an unfamiliar city. Making friends is not something that many can do with ease, especially if there is fear for ridicule or rejection. Kim's risk-taking in this area is very important, especially to her success in the student affairs field. Social interactions and communications with others are a vital part of the field. Kim started her job and would have never guessed that she was one more risk away from reaching what she had always yearned for. She worked for a few months and came out to find that some shifts were being made in the department, leading to some permanent positions for the following year. This position was everything she ever wanted, but she faced some uncertainties. She was really unsure if she was comfortable enough in San Francisco to commit to a permanent job, and she was also very skeptical about going through an interview process again. She felt like she was not experienced enough, and the thought of being denied and having to finish her temporary position, after all, really scared her. She ended up taking the risk and facing her fears once more. A month later, she was awarded the position, a position that she had always dreamed of having. Kim had to take many risks in a short period of time. At times, she debated whether or not to take it. As hard as it was for her at times, everything led to something bigger and better. Her goal of attaining a position that fulfilled her was finally available. Would she have reached this point in her professional and personal life had she not taken those risks? Kim mentioned something that truly helps conclude her story. I have learned to appreciate the fact that we all take different roads to get to the same place, roads most appropriate for our own vehicles. The risks that I take have put me right where I am, and I am in a good place. Ahead, I have nothing but choices. Some days I may play it safe, but on those other days, I will take a chance on the unknown as it may result in something better. Kim took risks and faced many fears. In the end, she reached her goals and attained happiness, a true testament that taking risks in life is beneficial. So how can taking risks help individuals seeking to work in the field of student affairs? The field is evolving. A lot of future student affairs professionals are faced with some daunting tasks. Two of which are particularly interesting to me include the following. Number one, the ongoing battle against resistance of tenured professionals for things like incorporating more co-curricular experiences in the education of students. And number two, the integration of technology to promote student involvement. Tenured professionals are not as receptive to the idea of incorporating co-curricular experiences in the education of students. They believe that all learning is done in the classroom. Through time, there have been many examples of how effective and beneficial co-curricular experiences can be. New professionals must be able to take risks and promote new ideas. Technology has also proved to be a good tool in the education of new generations, and should continue to be used positively to keep students involved. This new method of involvement may not be understood or accepted by everyone. In order to adopt new methods like this, professionals must be willing to take some risks. As future professionals, we have to understand that the path in front of us is not a simple one. We are faced with many choices like Kim had. We will have our own fears of rejections, but in the end, have to do what is best for the field and our students. Like the introductory quote said, "We cannot afford to sit and go nowhere. The field needs to move forward, and we have the power to keep the momentum going or seize the efforts taken by many throughout the field's long history. Risk-taking is necessary. Do not let your fears get the best of you." Thank you.